portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The nation's chief spent the last 2 days in New York in major meetings with investors.
Janaea Noel Ferguson tells us more about those discussions in the ZNS News exclusive.
The country's leader returned to the Capitol after 11 this morning following business meetings in New York. During an interview with ZNS News in the airport's VIP lounge, he said the tourism industry could get a significant boost from the cruise sector. Mr. Christie briefed us on discussions with officials from the multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, the Genting Group.
They are commissioning a new ship in February, which we will participate in. That ship will be based in Miami and essentially moving to and through the Bahamas. And so I wanted to be there to participate, to encourage them, because Genting is looking at the Bahamas in even more significant ways.
The Prime Minister said he also met with investors wanting to build a mega establishment in East Grand Bahama, one that former MP Kenneth Russell is involved in. Mr. Christie said they made an impressive proposal that the government is focused on, and the group plans to show evidence that they have the funds to back this development.
They are now being joined by major energy partners out of China, and then they will all assemble here in June, which is supposed to be the breakout meeting where the evidence that they have shown me in writing, but the real evidence of the financial capacity of the investing group will be made evident.
Now, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he's very encouraged by those meetings in New York and says there could be some good news coming out of it for Grand Bahama.
We are endeavoring to make a selection of a casino operator, and interesting enough, and there are now a number of Bahamian applicants joining the list of people who are applying for the casino, even in Freeport. And so it's very interesting, but Grand Bahama, because of its very sophisticated infrastructure, really should attract more industry.
The Prime Minister left the airport for a 12 o'clock meeting with the owners of cable and wireless. And although some are of the opinion that the government cannot regain majority shares, the Prime Minister had this to say.
I'm now going to meet with the leaders of BTC, right, who's leaving for London, and we are getting very close to a resolution of this matter.
Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
A young woman and her family have fallen on hard times, and tonight they're seeking the public's help. In addition to the central problem of unemployment, their situation is further compounded by their living conditions. Carla Palmer has this story.
22-year-old Lauren never thought she would come to live like this, but she is.
It's very hard. It's horrible, from, cold nights, hot days, no water. You understand? Going from people's house to house, asking for help. It isn't all right.
For the past 3 years, she's been homeless, relegated to living out of an abandoned car in Yellow Elder Gardens. So ashamed, she does not want to show her face.
Everything turned downfall after my mommy fall on the job. And they gave a pension. And we wasn't steady with paying rent, so it ended up like this, living with our auntie, and our auntie died, and her daughter kicked us out.
Unfortunately, the economic circumstances have not only brought Lauren to her knees, but that of her mother, her 2 children, and her siblings, a 17-year-old sister and 2-year-old brother.
I'm self-employed.
Okay, what do you do?
I do everything from time to time, but it ain't no money in that. But I try to make it. It's unbelievable to even think of, understand? To come from living in a stone house to in a car.
If there is any good news coming out of this story, is that the family is living next door to a neighbor, John Brown, who cares.
I use the phone, take a bath, and sometimes I give her $30 to sweep out the place.
For all involved, daily living has been a humbling experience.
Do I know there are some agencies that can assist without dividing the family? So I'm sure that there's some housing assistance, some financial assistance that can help this family. Someone should just reach out. And if it don't be government, it could be corporate society, or it could even be, it could be just someone who have a heart. When you look at children sleeping outside in 2013 and in the garbage. And these Bahamians, I mean, not saying you're down in other nationalities, but this is Bahamas.
Given this country's economic climate, it's unlikely this family situation is an isolated event. What's needed now more than ever is a helping hand. I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
In just a matter of days, the countdown for this country's 40th independence will begin. The Secretariat for the 40th Anniversary of Independence celebrations announcing the launch of a 40-day countdown, which will commence on May 31st. It's designed to build excitement. An official launch ceremony will take place on the evening of May 31st at Rawson Square. Officials are inviting Bahamians to attend.
At that time, the official Bahamian independence flag for the 40th anniversary will commence its journey throughout the islands of the Bahamas. Every Friday during the countdown will also be designated as Flag Day, and we are asking all patriotic Bahamians, and that includes everybody, to please wear your flag colors on the Fridays in the countdown so that we can remind ourselves that we are all one people and we are extremely proud.
The official independence jingle by the Region Bells was also launched yesterday.
We are the Region Bells going on singing our nation's story. Pressing towards a loftier goal.
Oftentimes, young men get a bad rap, but a local fraternity is choosing to put its spotlight on the achievements of more than 50 graduating high school males over the weekend. As Andrew Knowles tells us, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity awarded more than $15,000 in scholarship and prizes.
It's all about character and excellence. This was the message delivered by Bahamas Senior Vice President of Administration and External Affairs, Robert Sandy Sands, to a group of young men, all high achievers. He was speaking during the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity's 26th annual Honors Day convocation at Government House.
First impressions are lasting impressions, and you should always do your best to communicate that you are responsible and aware of the impressions that you are making on others. Always make sure that you are neat. Believe it or not, it makes a difference in how you conduct yourself and how others behave towards you.
More than 50 high school males competed for scholarships awarded by the fraternity annually. Nominees sat a general knowledge, math, and English exam to determine the winner. But in the end, Shannon Butler of Queen's College would be named the valedictorian, walking away with a $6,000 scholarship and a laptop computer.
It makes me feel amazing, to be up against so much fierce competition. We had a lot of head boys and deputy head boys from all various schools throughout the islands, and it just feels great to be able to receive this scholarship and to be able to use it to better our country. I plan to go to the University of St. Andrews in the United Kingdom to pursue studies in medicine, so that's going to help me tremendously because the fees are really high.
His classmate Ahmad Pratt was named salutatorian, receiving a $3,000 scholarship. It's the first time in the award's history that two students from the same school took home the top prizes. Alancio Gilbert won the Family Island Scholars Award, capturing a $2,000 scholarship.
It feels great, I have Shannon as my classmate. He's the valedictorian. We both strive for excellence, so we always try to do good and outdo one another. I'm happy that we both got the awards and that Alpha Phi Alpha was able to afford us the opportunity to receive these scholarships.
There's a lot of Family Island students here, and to be recognized as the most outstanding Family Island student is actually a great accomplishment for me. And I'm proud of myself. It's good to know that the hard work and dedication to my studies has actually paid off.
Meantime, Governor General Sir Arthur Folkes left the young men with this piece of advice.
Be proud of your Bahamian heritage. We do not need to take second place to anybody in this world. We do not need to imitate other people's culture. Least of all do we need to imitate the low end of other people's culture.
Andrew Knowles, ZNS Network News.
In the next few months, 50 Bahamians will be trained as certified elevator technicians and will be able to use the skill anywhere in the world. This is a result of a partnership between the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, and Bahamas Elevator Systems. Last year, the general manager of Bahamas Elevator Systems, Richard Thurs, was not able to find any qualified Bahamians in this industry and had to bring in foreign labor. Hoping to give back to the community, create a new career in the Bahamas, and ensure that he has Bahamian workers, Thurs partnered with BTVI and BAIC to develop a program that would train Bahamians. They will be working with the Norm Ben Institute of Canada that will assist in the international certification. The training will be free of charge, and those who are those who participate are to expect to receive a stipend. Thurs says this will not only help to save his business, but provide employment opportunities for residents.
That we birthed the idea of a training apprenticeship program where we could have Bahamians internationally certified and thus qualified to work on any elevator project anywhere in the world. And particularly important in this pilot or initial stage, ensuring the pre-hiring of the top graduates of this program. So at the end of the certification program, at least 50 young Bahamians would walk into jobs that were waiting for them.
BAIC Chairman Arnold Pinder and BTVI Executive Dr. Ivo Dahl says this is an ideal model of public-private partnership with industry and technical studies.
And we've allowed our technical and scientific areas to really go south. We need technical people in the Bahamas, and this is just what we're doing is scratching the surface. If you look around you and whatever projects are going on in the Bahamas, you see a lot of foreign technical people coming in because we're not technically sound, and that's why BTVI is so important to us.
Partnership with BTVI, BAIC, and BES, the Bahamas Elevator Systems, is encouraging because it will have the impact of stimulating a little-known industry that is predominantly staffed by non-Bahamians because the local Bahamian does not carry internationally recognized certification. I cannot stress enough the importance of this union, a collaborative effort from all parties. With this kind of partnership, the end result is a win-win situation.
All right, just a correction there. That was BAIC Chairman Arnold Forbes in that clip you just saw a minute ago. Well, the last of what was initially the Montague Beach Hotel property is being transformed. It's been an ongoing process that has taken a decade. The final work now underway is a collaborative effort between Atlantis Resort, the Chinese government, and Family Guardian Insurance. Carla Palmer has this.
$2.5 million invested, and 10 years later, executives of Atlantis Resort are still determined to not only improve the Montague foreshore, but transform the area. Senior Vice President of Public Affairs at Atlantis, Ed Fields, on the community initiative.
Just 2 years ago, we started and completed the refurbishment of the beach for about $2 million. Did some additional landscaping there, worked with the ministry to do some parking improvements, and this is really kind of like the end of the Montague development area.
Today, the work continues.
So we're happy to bring this process to a conclusion and to have completed what started 10 years ago to create a really good green space. We worked with the Chinese embassy and others to create a more of a passive green space. It's not a playground area or anything, it's more of a aesthetic green space.
In addition to the Chinese government, Family Guardian Insurance Company is also showing its commitment. President and CEO of Family Guardian, Patricia Hermans, says they have accepted the responsibility of maintenance.
We felt it was very important for us to participate in this to show our commitment to the community. And being that we were right across the street, we felt that this was something we could connect to in a really meaningful way. So we made a commitment to facilitate the upkeep of this area for 5 years, which represents a financial commitment of about $18,000.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Renwood Wells, applauded the corporate effort and spoke to the direct benefits to be gained by the public.
For us, the more greening that we can do, especially within the society, it helps. It helps from our mental aspects, it helps from the environmental aspect, it also helps from the energy aspect, because the more concrete we actually build, we create what is called a heat island. But if we can have more trees, it actually reduces the amount of thermal energy around.
Enviroscape Company Limited has been contracted to carry out the work at a cost of $10,000. I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We've got a look at Family Island News up next.
And a little later, sports and regional news. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles. One of the leading international shipping companies in the world, Mediterranean Shipping Company Bahamas Limited, or MSC, teamed up recently with the Rotary Club of Lucaya to assist Columbus House, a home for children on Grand Bahama. MSC donated the funds for a number of projects carried out by a contractor hired by the Rotary Club. Residents of the home now enjoy a reconstructed roof. Both entities say this is just the beginning of repairs being conducted at Columbus House. MSC Bahamas ranks as one of the world's largest shipping fleets, with vessels calling on 316 ports on 6 continents. Royal Fidelity Merchant Bank and Trust will be sponsoring the upcoming Health and Fitness Challenge being organized by the Rotary Club of Southeast Nassau on May 11th. The organizers thanked Royal Fidelity for the financial support, which will go toward a teen pregnancy prevention program called Baby Think It Over. At least 7 members of the Royal Fidelity staff will participate in the challenge, which is in its 3rd year. The walk starts at 6 a.m. on the 11th, and entries will be accepted up to the start time. The walk starts at Rotary Park at Arawak Key. And finally, with the recent announcement that Sir Alex Ferguson is stepping down as the head coach of English Premier League team Manchester United, international business experts are debating whether or not the Man U brand will retain its attraction. Not to worry, with a worth of $3.17 billion, it seems the Manchester United brand will survive the departure of its iconic leader. Man U ranks as the 2nd most valuable sports franchise in the world, bested only by Spanish league team Real Madrid. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles.